Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury and Bulldog Nation, do you know in this day in history, in 1931, Nevada legalized gambling. And that state has been a barrel full of fun ever since. All right, Robert Long. You know, Robert Long is the whack job that went down to Atlanta, went killing a bunch of people in massage parlors. There were apparently some Asians involved. And what does the national media go? This is hatred. This is violence against Asian. What do we learn? What do we find out? It had absolutely nothing to do with that. This guy is a sex addict that just decided to go bonkers. You see what happens? And you know what? You can't make this up. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, President Harris, have announced that they are going down to Georgia to visit this place. They're not going down to the border, but they're going to go. You see how they need the racism. This party needs that racism. By the way, I am issuing a challenge. Spread the word. I want to put a Joe Biden voter, somebody who voted Joe Biden in that seat. I want to interview a Joe Biden voter. Find me one. I don't know any. I want one who's willing, I don't care who it is, to sit in that seat, and I want to interview a Joe Biden voter. I've got lots of questions. All right, critical race theory. You know what? DeSantis is just, he's doing a great job in Florida. He was a good congressman. He's done a great job as governor. I expect Trump not to run for president again in 2024. What I expect Trump to do is be a kingmaker, and he's going to take DeSantis, and he's going to take Noem, and he's going to pair them up, and he's going to call on the Trump army to support these two. And it is a winning play. Why? You get all the Trumpers to go for these two people, and you remove all the Trump hatred out of it. And based on his age, I don't think he's going to want to do it again. That's just my opinion. But you know what? Critical race theory, as DeSantis, just means that we're teaching kids to hate our country and hate each other. It makes no sense whatsoever. Senator Rand Paul versus Fauci. Good for Rand Paul. Boy, did he hold Fauci's feet to the fire. Okay, if you've got COVID, there is no scientific evidence that somebody that's gotten COVID, like me, that you're going to get it again. There's no, doesn't mean you can't, but just percentages that I'm going to get COVID and die. There's no scientific evidence that if you've gotten your 2 vaccine shots that you're vulnerable to getting COVID again and dying. I mean, the bottom line is that you are protected. So what's Fauci doing? He's saying, well, we're going to wear 2 masks. And we're now worried about this other variant. You see, Fauci disappears off the stage when COVID goes away. I mean, Fauci is a complete fraud. You go back in the history of his lies on this issue, but good for Rand Paul. Rand Paul gets Oracle status of the day.
You've been awarded Oracle status.
All right, Putin versus Biden. Everybody talks about they were worried in 2016 that Trump would cause a war. What does Joe Biden do 1 month into his presidency? He tries to publicly humiliate to the world Putin by calling him a killer. Calling him a killer, what does that do? It does absolutely nothing, does no good at all. And of course, Putin challenges him to a public discussion. Wouldn't that be great? I'd love to see, Biden. And by the way, you know what it is? It's because he's got dementia. God only knows what's going to come out of this guy's mouth. He's going to be causing wars everywhere. I want a Biden voter in that chair. I want to ask him some questions. Meanwhile, speaking of Putin and Biden, Alaska, the secretaries of state Both countries are meeting in Alaska, and they say it's not going very well. I expect by the time that is over, we'll give Alaska back to the Russians, who we bought it from when it was called Seward's Folly for $5 million. That's what will happen. Russia, by Monday, you watch, they're going to announce that Alaska's been given back to Russia. All right, more dementia from President Biden. He calls Kamala Harris President Harris. And we all know that she probably is President Harris. Good old Susan Rice. This is who's running this country. Jill Biden, in the spirit of Edith Woodrow Wilson. Jill Biden, Susan Rice, and Kamala Harris. They are running the show. They're running the show. He calls her President Harris. Why? Because he's got dementia. Senator Warren, she's now saying the filibuster is racist. I was chuckling to myself coming in here. What can I say is racist? High school football is racist. High school basketball is racist. The drive-thru at Wendy's across the street is racist. This studio is racist. The walls are black and the ceiling is black for sound, and the floor is black. Everything's black, but it's also racist. I mean, anything you say, just call it racist. The filibuster is now racist. My blue jeans are racist. I know they are. I don't know why, but the blue jeans I have on right now is racist. This tie, look at me. This is obviously a racist suit. Clearly racist. My shaved head looks like Michael Jordan. Racist. I'm racist. Everything's racist. What's that old, when you cry wolf? You know, the story, the parable about crying wolf? It loses all of its impact. The word racism is losing all of its impact. Pelosi says that we want to give citizenship to illegals to show the world that we're diverse. What the? America's already diverse. What she's really saying is, look, we support globalism. We're all about globalism. And guess what? The Department of Homeland Security just announced within the past hour that if the children come, we want to take them in, no questions asked. Incredible. A professor is now being asked to resign because he questioned and expressed some concern about anti-white sentiment. That there's a backlash now against whites. He expressed concern about it, and those college students are all chanting, "We demand you resign. How dare you? Hey, morons, you can't demand I resign from my show. I employ myself as the spokesperson for Bulldog Nation. I employ myself as the commentator on the Bulldog Show. I have no sponsors. You cannot fire me." Because I've learned, this is funny, I've told my whole social media team, okay, YouTube and Facebook doesn't care what we say as long as we don't talk about January 6th. You can't talk about January 6th. You don't talk about January 6th, they're okay. And you don't want to say anything about COVID being fake or anything. At all. And where possible, avoid Trump. Do you realize Google Ads was not posting our ads because Trump was in the picture with me? So we've taken a picture of me in the studio without Trump, and we think we'll be okay then? That's where we are as a country. You can't make that up. And last but not least, I got a report from Stringer Jeff Cantor, I missed it, that John Cranley was on Fox News a couple mornings ago bragging about the over $200 million that the city of Cincinnati has been given as part of this $1.9 trillion. Now just think about that. The city of Cincinnati, the most mismanaged city in the world, streetcar and everything else, they get a gift from all of us taxpayers from all around the country, our little towns. What does the City of Independence get? They're a well-managed town. What do they get? I'm sure nothing. But these democratic cities who are disasters get bailed out. It makes my blood boil. So there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, tune in to my rants for Saturday and Sunday because I've got some good ones. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.